especially if they knew why his meat was the cheapest in the village market. How do you feel knowing that something you've trusted for years might have been hiding a terrible secret all along? That's the question I still ask myself every time I think about what happened in my village. It's a story that keeps me awake at night. And even though I lived through it, it still feels unreal. In our village, there was a butcher named Malan Gaba. Everyone knew him. He wasn't just any butcher, he was the butcher. His shop, located at the corner of the main market, always has the best price. While other sellers complain about rising costs and sold their meat for high prices, Malan Gaba always kept his price low. In a time when food was getting harder to afford, people flocked to his shop. Ah, this man is a blessing, my mother would say, smiling as she handed me money to buy beef from him. He understands how to help people during hard times. God will bless him. I would go to his shop, stand in the long line with other women, and watch as he skillfully chopped meat with his sharp, shiny knife. He always had a smile for everyone. How are you, Aliyah? How is your mother? He would ask as he wrapped my order in brown paper. To us, Malan Gaba was a kind man who made life just a little easier. But behind that smile, there was something no one knew. One Friday morning, everything changed. I remember it clearly because it was market day. The sun was high and the streets were crowded with traders shouting and bargaining. I had gone to buy vegetables when I noticed something strange. Malangaba's shop was closed. It was rare for him to be absent, especially on a busy day like Friday. Where is Malangaba? I asked a woman selling tomatoes nearby. She shrugged. I don't know. Maybe he's sick, but it's strange. He never closes. I brushed it off at first. Maybe he just needed a break. But as the day went on, people started talking. Rumors spread quickly in our village, and by evening, the whole market was buzzing with gossip. Have you heard? They said they saw police at Malam Gaba's house this morning. Someone whispered to my mother as we sat outside. Police? Why? My mom asked, frowning. They say it's because of his meat. Something about it not being what we think it is. My stomach twisted. What does that mean? I had eaten meat from his shop just the night before. By the next day, the truth started to come out. The police announced that they had arrested Malangaba and were investigating him for selling unusual meat. At first, no one understood what they meant. Then, someone let it slip. They believe he had been selling human meat. Impossible, my mother explained when he heard. That's nonsense. Malangaba is a good man. He would never do such a thing. But the whisper didn't stop. People said the police had found bones in his backyard. Human bones. They said he had been luring strangers, travelers passing through the village and killing them to use their flesh as meat. That's why his prices were always low. The thought made me feel sick. I couldn't eat that night. My mind kept going back to all the times I had stood in his shop, watching him cut meat, his knife gleaming as it sliced through the red meat. Over the next few days, the village was in chaos. People arguing in the street. Some defended Malam Gabar, saying it was all a mistake. Others believed the rumor completely. It makes sense now, one man said loudly in the market. How could he sell meat so cheap when everyone else's prices were high? It's because it wasn't cow meat. The police didn't release much information, but they confirmed that the bones found in his yard were being examined. They also found knives, ropes, and other tools that made their suspicions stronger. I didn't know what to believe. I kept thinking about his smile, the way he would ask about my family. Could someone so kind really do something so evil? The turning point came a week later when the police brought a witness forward, a young man who had escaped. He was a young traveler who had come to our village looking for work. He said Malam Gaba had offered him food and a place to stay. But during the night, he woke up to find Malam Gaba trying to tie him up. The young man fought back and managed to run away, hiding until he reached the police. His story sent shiver through the village. People who had doubted the rumors now started to believe them. Some women fainted when they heard. Others ran to their home to throw away any leftover meat they had bought from him. My mother didn't say much after that. She sat quietly staring at the pot of stew on the fire. I knew she was thinking the same thing as me. How many times had we eaten that meat? The police investigation continued for weeks. They discovered more bones, more tools, and more evidence that couldn't be explained away. Malam Gaba, who had always been the friendly face at the market, was now seen as a monster. People stopped mentioning his name out loud, as if speaking it would bring bad luck. When the news finally came that he had confessed, it felt like the ground had shifted under my feet. He admitted to killing travelers, people who wouldn't be missed, and selling their flesh as meat in the market. He said he did it to make ends meet, to survive. His words made me sick to my stomach. The village was never the same after that. His shop was torn down. The land left empty as a reminder of what had happened. People became suspicious of everyone. Butchers in the market had to go through inspections to prove their meat was real. Even so, many villagers stopped eating meat altogether, unable to forget the horror of what Malam Gaba had done. For me, the experience left a scar I can't explain. Every time I see a meat in the market, I hesitate. My mind goes back to those days, to the lines of women at his shop, to the trust we all had in him. I think about how easily he fooled us, how his smile hid something so dark. Now, years later, the story of Malam Gaba still whispered in the village, especially by the older people. They say his ghost haunts the market at night, carrying his bloody knife and looking for the next victim. Even now, whenever someone says, only if they knew why his meat was the cheapest in the village market, I feel a chill run down my spine. Thank you.